Hello everybody and welcome to your second last Allegro 5 tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be learning a favorite of a lot of people, and that is gravity. Okay, so to start off with our program, this code is taken from the spread animation tutorial 13 and 14. You can download that off the source code off my website. Okay, so to start off, what we had is that we had x and y, and we have a move speed. But this time we want to expand on this, and we want to add a velocity x and velocity y, and we'll set them both equal to 0. Okay. So with movement, how it's gonna work now is that we're going to set the move speed into the velocity and then increase the velocity, increase the place position based on the velocity. And one other thing that we're going to add, lastly, is a constant float called gravity. And we'll set that to 1. And some people, you might want to use like Newton's law of gravity or whatever. Or you can, some people might want to use box 2D or something like that to do gravity, but this is gravity the Allegro 5 way, okay, or the easy method, I would say. So and it will give you a realistic gravitational effect in your program. So sometimes you have some game elements that modify the gravity. So if that's the case, you might not want to make it constant, but for the most part you want gravity to stay constant. So we're not going to deal with up and down. Well, we're gonna have up, but okay. So let me take this, cut that, and okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. So we got. I just got to set this stuff up. So we're going to erase the down animation, because we're just going to be doing just jumping with left and right movement. So kind of like a platformer thing. So what we're going to do, and we're not going to take the direction for this one. But what we're going to do, when the player moves, what we're going to do is we're going to set the velocity equal to the move speed, okay? So instead of doing x plus equals move speed, we say velocity x is equal to move speed. In this case, we say velocity x is equal to negative move speed, okay? And then if they press the up key, and we should make another variable called jump, and jump is equal to true, so it means that we can jump. Then we'll set the velocity y equal to negative jump speed. So there's some more variables that we have to add, which I forgot to add. So we need a Boolean variable called jump, and we'll set that to false right now. And we need another one called jump speed, and I'll set that to 15, or yeah, whatever. Okay, so the reason why we say negative jump speed is because the lower the number on the screen, the higher it up it is, right? So we do negative jump speed, so we jump higher up on the screen. Okay. So this handles all the source X and source Y stuff, so we don't gotta worry about that. Okay, so what we're gonna do below that is what we're gonna do is we're gonna say velocity y plus equals gravity, and then we're gonna say x plus equals velocity x, y plus equals velocity y. And there's one thing that we have to take care of before we do that. We have to say that if they're not pressing left or right, active is equals to false. And if active is equal to false, we just need to set velocity x to 0. If we don't set velocity x to 0, then it's just going to keep on moving in the position that you currently are moving in. So right now, our velocity is going to be adding into onto our gravity. So what is this saying? Okay, so our default, our velocity is equal to 0. So if we jump, our velocity is at negative 15. Okay, so negative 15 plus 1 is equal to negative 14. So y is going to be equal to whatever's position plus 14 plus negative 14. So it's going to go up 14 spaces. Loops again. this is going to be equal to negative 13, so it's going to go up another 13 spaces, and 12, 11, 10, whatever, until it reaches 0. Then when it becomes positive, that's when the player slowly starts to go down, and it will increase its velocity accordingly. So for this, we want to say that if not jump, so if we're in the air, then we increase the velocity, else then we set velocity y equals 0. Okay, so last but not least, we have to make sure we need to set jump, and we have to make sure the player stops moving once they reach the ground. So in this case, the screen's 800 by 600, so we'll just say the ground height is at 560 or whatever. And you can make a separate variable called ground height if you want to. It's up to you. But what we're going to do is we're going to say jump is equal to y greater than or equal to 560. Okay, so what is this saying right here? So jump, if you look at conditional operators like in if statements, while loops, or whatever, their statements can only return a true or false value, right? If the value, if the statement is true, then it continues with the statement. If the statement is false, it continues with it. So this is a statement right here. It's saying that if y is greater than or equal to 560, then this statement is going to be returning true. Therefore, jump's going to equal to true. If it's less than 560, then this is going to return false, so jump's going to be equal to false. So it basically saves 4 lines of code. Instead of doing if equals to 560, then you set y, then you say jump equals to true, and then you have to do another else statement. It takes up 4 lines of code. Another way you could do it is that you could have this statement. Well, this really wouldn't make any sense with a boolean, but you have a statement, put this here, you could say true, and you could have false there. So it's saying that if this statement is true, if the statement is true, it runs this thing. If the statement is false, and it runs this statement over here. But anyways, so we got our statement right there. So we're gonna say that if jump is equal to true, then we're just gonna set y equals to y is equal to 560, and it really should be y is equal to 560 subtract the player's height, because we want the y2 to touch the ground, right? So what's the player's height? The player's height is 32. So yeah, so at the coordinate 560, that's when the bottom of the player will be touching. So, and you might want to adjust this as well. So if y plus 32 is equal to that, then so on and so forth. So we got our code down packed. So just to cover what's going on, we set our velocities. So we say that if they're moving, if the player is moving right, we set the velocity to positive move speed. If they're clicking left, we set to negative move speed. Else, then the velocity is 0. If they press the jump button, if they press up and jumps equal to true, then we should set this to false in the statement. And velocity y is Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we set to false. We want to set to false because we want to execute this first statement over here. If we don't want to execute this on the first loop, if we don't execute this on the first loop, then it's going to say velocity y is equal to 0 because jump is going to be equal to true, right? So we have to make sure we set it to false after. So anyways, when we jump, it executes this statement, we activate gravity, and we move according to where we need to move. And we check to see if jump's equal to true or false. If it is true, then we just set it, our position to the ground. So if we run this program to see what we can get, so as you can see at the beginning of the program, our player dropped to the ground. Now I'm gonna move this so you can see, you can put in the view. So when I press the jump key, you see the character jump, and then you see it land. And then it doesn't do any like additional double jumping or anything because it only jumps if jump is equal to true. So there you have it, gravity in your program. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and bye.